Universities in Australia as a sector are being constructively challenged to demonstrate their relevance, and in fact we've been having a number of discussions internally at the ANU to work out if we think, if our position is that we think humanitarian engineering is a discipline or an application area. And that might sound like it's an act of semantics, but actually it guides the way that you design educational programs, and it also guides the way that you communicate with people. And I don't expect that other universities will come to similar conclusions to us. And as we were saying, it's a system, a diversity of approaches is a really important part of this. And I would, before I come to answer that particular question, I would point out that engineering as a discipline has always been about the marshalling of scientific understanding in order to solve some human need. And so the idea of systems thinking, complex problem solving in the face of uncertainty, exercising professional engineering judgment in order to be pragmatic and actually get stuff done, these are all of the sorts of skills that will be necessary if we are to achieve the SDGs internationally and nationally. And I think that can be applied in developed and developing countries. And so certainly part of my personal mission, now that I have a platform to share this, is to talk much more vigorously about what engineers are, and we need to get away from the stereotypes of people who go around just being focused on building bridges and building roads and wearing pocket protectors and cutting computer code and all that sort of stuff. Because in Sydney or Canberra or Melbourne, roads and bridges are not particularly transformational. They're not particularly interesting to your average 16-year-old. In some parts of the world, they can change lives. And we need to be much more clear about that. And while it doesn't fit the stereotype, even in some of our very highly developed cities, bridges and roads change lives. If you have to spend 2 hours a day, every day, commuting to get to work, that's 2 hours a day that you're not spending with your kids. That's 2 hours a day of fossil fuels that you're burning. So these things are important, and we as a university sector, I think, need to be much more clear about what it is that we do. We need to be much less precious about our place in the environment, in the intellectual environment. What universities traditionally tend to do is we do things like say, hey, come to the ANU and do engineering because it's a really fabulous place. What we should actually be doing is partnering with people like these folks and saying, hey, look at all of the amazing things that you could do with your life out there. By the way, you've got to come through the ANU to get there, but actually, this is the lifestyle that we should be talking about. And we are getting better at that. I don't think many universities at the moment have actually explicitly sat down and had a conversation around the SDGs at all. But if you were to look at what the sorts of things that we're doing, we are actually doing a lot of stuff that is aligned to that because we are part of an environment where we are just talking about these things all of the time. And there are humanitarian engineering bits and pieces popping up all over the place around Australia. But I guess what I would caution is that we shouldn't be going looking just for things that are badged as humanitarian engineering, because all engineers should actually think of themselves as humanitarian or development engineers. And all of these philosophies, all of these ideas, all of these goals should just be embedded in what it is we're trying to achieve, because that's what engineers are here for. And we should be taking a leading role in that.
That's interesting because I think that approach also attracts new people to just engineering full stop, because people want to have that impact and that outcome. So I'm hearing that you're going to collaborate with all these...
Absolutely.
Yep. Fantastic. What about, just briefly, so we've got engineers, but then you've also got other disciplines that need to be coming into play?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Yes. So one of the things that people are much more sophisticated about these days is IBM created a concept of something that they call T-shaped people. So these are people who have breadth and depth. And you need that because if you're actually going to ever attack some kind of really big, thorny, complicated problem, you need people with both the disciplinary expertise to solve the complicated bits of it, as well as the respect and capacity to collaborate with people across disciplines. You get that respect by understanding a little bit about the complexity of other people's disciplines. So most universities, the ANU in particular, is very, very focused on the idea that we want people to be T-shaped, and I think this will become more and more of an issue that exercises the minds of universities going forward from here.